People always ask about their safety. Is it safe here? Are there break-ins? What type of races live here? What's the age range that lives here? These are questions as a leasing consultant or a manager you cannot answer. Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be a really exciting one. So I am in my office. It's a little messy, as you can tell in the background, but I really wanted to do this video because I feel like it is so important to know these little tips I have for you guys on how to get an apartment. I was in property management for 5 or 6 years. I absolutely love property management. I love real estate. That is my heart. So I'm excited to do this video and give you guys some tips on everything I've learned as a manager, as a leasing agent, and just give you guys tips if you guys are looking for an apartment or wanting to move, or just some little inside scoop on how it works. And if you guys are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So let's get started with this video. Okay, so the number one most important thing you need to know about getting an apartment is you need to have good credit. Credit is the most important thing to do basically anything in life, but for an apartment especially, they are really bad sticklers when it comes to credit. Honestly, after purchasing our first house, I feel like it was more intense to go through getting an apartment as far as looking into our credits than it was a house. So if you guys have no idea where to get started with your credits, make sure you guys go to creditsesame.com and check it out. You guys, they are a lifesaver. Creditsesame.com will help you with a credit analysis. They'll give you your credit score. They will give you tips. It's just awesome because I honestly had no idea where to get started with credit when I was trying to repair it, because it honestly is a little intimidating, and sometimes you have no idea what's on your credit score. So they definitely will help you with all that, and I definitely recommend them. I've been using them for years. So I will show you an in-depth look on what Credit Sesame looks like. So as you can see here, they have so many different ways to help you out. What I did when I first found this website, I just spent an hour on there looking at every single tab, looking at every single way they can help me. So especially if you are just out of college or you're looking for your first apartment, you guys, take care of your credit as soon as possible and go to creditsesame.com and they will help you. They are there to help. So make sure you guys go check it out and take care of that credit, because you're gonna need that for everything. I can't say credit enough in this video because you're gonna need that for every single thing in life. Everything in life. Jobs are even starting to look into your credit. Yes, jobs are starting to look into your credit, which is crazy. If that would have been the case back when I first started with property management, I probably would not have gotten hired. I was too busy going out and partying in college and using those credit cards when I shouldn't have. So definitely take care of your credit. So the next thing I want to talk about is how much money. I'm looking at my phone right now because I have so many things written down here. So how much money do I need when I first want to get an apartment? Okay, so when it comes to rent, a lot of people don't know this, but we get sheets of prices every single day. Every single day the prices change. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. So when people do tell you you should lease this apartment because we don't know if the prices will go up or down tomorrow, they are telling the truth. So you want to make sure that if you find the perfect apartment for yourself and you really want it, but money's the issue, you don't know if it's gonna go up $30 tomorrow or if it's gonna go down $30 tomorrow. So definitely make sure that if you really want it, I would definitely recommend on taking it off the market, because somebody will come in and take it. And you could wait and see if it goes down, but sometimes that's happened to me all the time, where people tell me, oh, I'll come back tomorrow, I'll come back next week, and the apartment's gone, and they're so sad about it. They're just like, oh no, I should have gotten it. So make sure if you guys find the perfect apartment to lease it up that same day. So when it comes to fees, there's an application fee, there's an admin fee, and a security deposit fee. Now everything I'm saying is from my experience as a manager and a leasing consultant. Every apartment is different, every company is different, but this is just what I went through when I was working with them. Security deposit is the one where you can possibly pay $0 if your credit's really good. I've seen this happen to where a person's credit is immaculate and they get $0 down for their apartment. But then on the other hand, I've seen people that have to pay their rent ×2. So they have to do a security deposit that equals their rent. So basically it's like paying 2 rents, like first and last month's rent. And that sucks because people are just like, no. But there is a middle ground where you pay like around $400 or $500 security deposit. But some apartments do have specials when it comes to that, but it's also credit approval based. So that's why I say it's so important to have good credits. Also, the application and admin fee, sometimes it is waived when you have good credit as well. It honestly just comes down to having good credit when you're trying to rent your first apartment, because you could save so much money, guys, so much money if you have good credits. Okay, and optional, there is a pet deposit. If you have a pet, there are pet deposits, and there are also pet rent. So a pet deposit normally is around $250, $300. And the pet rent is normally around $10 to $20 a month. So I know it's kind of silly, but if you have a pet, there is that. Also, if you want to pay carport fees or a garage fee, that's an additional charge most of the time. If it is a detached garage, most of the time it's a charge. If it's attached, then it's included in the rent for the most part. Or if I'm already freaking you out and you guys are like, oh my gosh, my credit's bad, I can't get an apartment, it's done, my dream's over. It's not over, because there is such thing as a guarantor or a cosigner. So a guarantor and a cosigner are basically somebody that you ask to sign for you, to basically be a cosigner of the apartment. So a lot of parents come into play here, uncles, brothers, sisters, anybody can really cosign for you. It honestly depends on the person and how much they trust you, because working in the apartment field, I've seen so many people where they come in with their friends and they don't get approved, or if they had a cosigner, they would get approved. And I would see some friends talking to each other like, hey girl, can you cosign for me? And the other girl would be like, nah. They're like, no, I'm good. Because you just never know if the person is going to skip. If they skip and they break their lease, that affects the cosigner. So when we report to the collection agency that you skipped and you didn't fulfill your 12-month lease, you're liable for that 12-month lease until it's over. So for, let's say you skip in March, all of April, May, June, July, so on and so forth, you'll be liable until the 12 months is over. So those $800, $900 of rent, they're going to go to the collection saying that you owe us that, and the cosigner is also going to be reported along with the person who signed the lease. So tread very, very carefully when it comes to cosigners. If somebody has asked you to cosign and they say, oh, don't worry, you're not even liable for it, you are liable for it. So just to let you guys know, make sure that you trust somebody if you're gonna cosign. I've seen it way too many times where parents, like people would call in saying, is this person paying on time? And it was just embarrassing for the person who lived there, because they were just like, I'm paying on time, but the other person who co-signed is kind of paranoid about them not paying on time or still living there or whatever the case is. So yeah, that's just an option. I would honestly say that's like if you really need it, go for it, but I would definitely recommend not taking that route. So the next thing I want to talk about is something called fair housing. Okay, so when you guys go look at an apartment, and the first questions that you ask are normally about your safety, about who lives there, and you hear all types of questions. You hear all types of stuff when you're giving tours to people, showing them apartments. People always ask about their safety. Is it safe here? Are there break-ins? Some people even ask like, what type of races live here? What's the age range that lives here? These are questions as a leasing consultant or a manager you cannot answer. There is a law about fair housing and you cannot answer these questions. If somebody asks you, oh, do a lot of white people live here? Do a lot of black people live here? How many break-ins are there? You cannot answer these questions. You can't steer people. You can't steer people here or there. You have to basically say, oh, it's very diverse here, or, you know, crime happens anywhere. That was my go-to. Crime can happen anywhere. And you have to like backtrack and talk about something else. You have to distract them. If you were getting shopped means a corporate comes down and they are portraying themselves as a person who's looking for an apartment, even though you have no idea that they're fake and they're actually from corporates. They're judging every single thing you say. They're making sure you say the things that they tell you to say. They're making sure you don't say the things that you're not supposed to say. So it's very serious. We honestly cannot tell you the race that lives there, the gender, the sexuality of the people there, the break-ins, the crime. We cannot say any of that. Moving forward to my next tip is something called apartmentratings.com. So apartmentratings.com is a website where mostly all apartments are, and it's actually rated by people that live there, which is so important because I know with myself, when people would give me some BS answers like that, when I would ask them like, how safe is it here? And they wouldn't tell me, I would just go to apartmentratings.com because I knew that they couldn't tell me, but I was trying to get them to tell me still. So apartmentratings.com will tell you if it's loud, if the maintenance is good, if the front office sucks, or whatever the case is, if there's crime. It will tell you anything, and it comes from people that live there. I'm worried about safety, bed bugs or rodent issues, noise levels, if it's really noisy, if people party a lot, crime when it comes to people breaking into your cars or into your apartments. That's the kind of stuff I look into, and apartmentratings.com will definitely let you know. And honestly, just go to the website before you even look in apartments in person, because you'll know if you're wasting your time by going to that apartment. If you read the reviews and you don't like what you see, there's no point even going to that apartment to check it out. So I definitely recommend that website. So the next tip I have is to be cool with your maintenance people. I am telling you, this is like the easiest thing you can do to help you with your apartment living situation, because there will be times where your refrigerator stops working, your AC stops working, whatever the case is, whatever little thing or big thing happens. If you're cool with your maintenance dudes, they will come out and take care of you instead of having you wait like a week or two. That's like a huge deal when it comes to apartment living. There's so many people that complain about maintenance guys because they take a while. I definitely recommend being cool with them, treating them with respect, being nice to them. Don't be a jerk just because they're maintenance guys and because you're above them, or so you think. Don't do that, because they are some of the most hardworking people I've ever met. I was cool with all my maintenance guys. They were awesome. They work so hard. They do the things that you don't want to do. Like, I'm not really trying to go snake a toilet or do nasty stuff like that. And you being a jerk to them is not what they need. It's not what they want to hear, because I'm pretty sure they're probably pissed off that they have to snake your toilet. Just saying. So be nice to them, and I can guarantee you your stuff will get done a lot more faster, a lot more efficiently. So don't be a jerk. This tip is very, very, very important. It goes back to credit again. First and foremost, my opinion is to live by yourself. Don't get a roommate. If you have to get a roommate, try and get a individual leased apartment, because we have had so many. I'd probably say I've probably dealt with like 30 to 40 cases where someone comes into the office, is irate and pissed off about their roommate, and they're just like, I can't live with them anymore. I can't live with them anymore. But there's nothing, I repeat, there is nothing we can do about it if you're in a contract. If you are in a contract with this person, there's nothing you can do. Also, if your roommate is lazy and a jerk and doesn't want to pay rent like they're supposed to, and the rent is late, you both get in trouble. There is nothing we can do about that. A lot of people think that we can somehow like just magically make the roommate agreement contract just into two separate things, and we can't. When you sign that contract, that's a contract for both of you guys, or the 3 or 4 of you guys, for the amount of time that you guys signed that for. There's nothing we can do about that. So if there's an apartment where you can do an individual lease, I highly recommend that, because when I was in college, we had individual lease apartments. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing, because I had some roommates who were always late on their rent, always. But it didn't matter, because I was leasing my room. And we were sharing the common area. So I never had to worry about chasing people for rent or worried about them being late and affecting my credit, because that was all on their own. It was all individual. So I definitely recommend, if you can find an apartment where they do individual leases. This is very common around the college areas, but I have heard that some apartments are starting to implement that. So look for it, and I promise you it will just be so much less stress, because you do not want to deal with that. That's just, it's too much, guys. Having to chase your roommate for rent, or if they back out on you. If you guys have a 2-bedroom apartment, the person that you're living with backs out on you, you have to pay that full amount for the rest of the lease. And if you don't, your credit goes bad and your roommate's credit goes bad. Guys, there is nothing that ruins your credit more than a skip apartment. I am telling you, it will ruin you. It will make you it will ruin you for 7 years. That's basically what I'm saying, because it takes 7 years for it to pop off your credit. I'm telling you guys, just don't do that. Okay, so the next tip I have is not to buy furniture before you choose a floor plan. When you guys go to look in apartments, make sure you guys take a tape measure. I know it sounds all nerdy and stuff, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to be life-changing, because there has been so many times where people move into an apartment, they come to the front office and they're just like, my sofa doesn't fit. I swear the apartment was bigger. And I'm just looking at them like, were y'all high when you came in or what? Like, it's the same thing. It hasn't changed. So make sure you bring in some tape measure. Make sure that you double check your furniture and measure that, and have like a paper written down of all the measurements you have to make sure that it fits in the apartment, because so many people get mad about that. Like, it changed overnight or something, like the sizing changed overnight, and it didn't. So I definitely recommend measuring your floor plan and all your furniture to make sure it all fits. The next tip I have is when you first move into your apartment, you are going to be given an inventory form. This inventory form is going to have every single thing listed of that apartment. It's going to have carpet, it's going to have wood floor where you have wood floors, it's going to have every single thing, the cabinets, the drawers, everything in that apartment is going to be listed there. Make sure you guys do that as soon as you move in, before you even move in. Like honestly, before you even move in, if you see any dings on the door, if you see anything in that apartment that you feel they can charge you for, take a picture. Take a picture and write it down in that form and say, door is bent, picture taken, blind is missing, picture taken. Let them know, like, you're not gonna play me, you're not gonna try and charge me for something that I didn't do. And also what I recommend too is taking a picture of your completed inventory form. If you can get an actual copy, you have a copy machine or anything like that, or when you go to the office, tell them that you want a copy of that right now. So I definitely recommend doing that as soon as possible, because there has been so many times where people come in and they didn't even fill the inventory form out, and they get so mad when they get charged for things that were already there before, but they're claiming that it wasn't them, but there's no proof of them even documenting saying that they didn't do it. So I definitely recommend, and that stuff can add up, guys. Like if there's a blind missing, probably $15. If there's a dent on the door, probably like $30, if not more, if you have to replace that. Or I remember one time there was this huge stain in one of the apartments that we moved into, and I took a picture and I wrote it, and they didn't even, like, for some reason they didn't even acknowledge it, and then they charged me like $200 to replace that spot. But luckily I had all my stuff saved, so I was like, boom, you can't charge me for nothing, dog. I have it right here. Like, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. But had I not done that, I would have been stuck paying $200. So I definitely recommend filling out the inventory form, taking pictures of anything you see that you didn't do, and turning that in as soon as possible and getting a copy. Okay, so the last tip I have for you guys is to do your research. Go to apartmentratings.com, like I said earlier. Type in crime and the zip code that you want to move into, just to make sure there's not anything crazy going on around you. It's so important to do research and to make sure you're happy in your first apartment or in your apartment in general, because you want to make sure you feel safe and you love the area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video has helped you in some way. If you guys are looking for your first apartment, or you guys are looking for just an apartment in general, I hope that these tips have helped you. And also I want to thank Credit Sesame for sponsoring this video. You guys, I cannot talk about how important credit is when it comes to getting an apartment. So please make sure you take care of your credit. Please make sure you guys go ahead to creditsesame.com and check the website out and get started on your credit journey. The sooner you do it, the better. Your girl right here has experience. I'm telling you, the sooner you do it, the better. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe button down below, and also follow me on my social media. Everything is at Lori Darks. And yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.